They say the dream is to quit your 9 to 5 and become a full-time content creator or influencer. But what if that's not the dream anymore? I quit my career as a full-time content creator making crazy good money. I left my life behind, the relationships I've built, and started completely over. It was the scariest and maybe the best decision I've ever made. Let's talk about it. My name is Evelyn and I want to share my journey with you, not just because it's my story, but also because I think it might help you navigate your own big decisions. So why should you listen to me? I've been a content creator for over 3 years, and during that time, I earned 5 times my current salary per month. I was working with big skincare and big beauty brands and living what most people would consider the dream job. But earlier this year, I made the hardest decision of my life to leave it all behind. I moved back to Indonesia after living in Malaysia for 12 years. And even though Indonesia is my home country, I don't really have any people there that I know. Previously, I built my entire life in Malaysia. It wasn't just where I worked. I went to school there and I grew up as a person. And I think I experienced like 3 life transitions in Malaysia. Leaving meant saying goodbye to my support system, my closest friends, people I've known for years, my boyfriend, and also my professional connections. I stepped into a new career in marketing and teaching. It was terrifying, it was messy, it was super emotional as well, but it also taught me really valuable lessons I hope will help you too. I remember sitting in like this really messy room after the move and thinking, am I really doing this? Like, am I really giving up everything I've built and everything that I've worked so hard to build? The fear was honestly overwhelming, but so was my curiosity. I wondered what kind of person I would be in Indonesia. I wondered what kind of things I would change in my lifestyle. And I wondered what kind of future I could build there. One quote that really influenced my decision, and I think I've kept in the back of my mind for quite a while, is do what scares you. Moving back scared me a lot. I feel like a lot of times when you move back to your home country, even if you haven't lived there for a long time, it feels like you're taking a step backwards. I think the goal for many people who are from third world countries is to find a career, find a life outside of your home country so you can thrive further. In a way, moving back also felt like I was taking a step backwards from that future. But part of the reason it scares me so much is because it's uncomfortable. But so is growth. Growth will always be uncomfortable because by definition, if you're growing, you're not familiar with what's happening to you and you're not familiar with these new situations you're putting yourself into or these new ways you're growing as a person. So if you're uncomfortable or you're feeling scared, that's the right place to be if you want to experience the most growth. What scared me more was the idea that I wasn't living up to my full potential, that I was boxing myself away in this world as a content creator in Malaysia, and there's still so much of the world that I haven't seen yet and so many things I haven't done yet. As a content creator, I had a lot of freedom, my own schedule, what projects I took, my salary, and I earned a lot more money than I ever thought was possible. I mean, that's the thing about being a freelancer, right? Your salary is not dictated by how many hours a day you sit in office, but it's dictated by how much projects you take, the quality of your work, and things that you actually have control over. It was exciting and so fulfilling in so many ways, but there's a lot of things no one tells you about being a content creator, especially full time. Sometimes it can feel like a constant race, like you're always chasing the next trend, you're always chasing followers, you're always chasing views, and it can be a little bit competitive, especially depending on who you surround yourself with. My emotions were also tied to my numbers, and the mental strain and emotional strain was a lot. And there was this kind of pressure that I always felt, and that was really exhausting to keep up with. I also felt like I personally had to share everything, or like at least 90% of my life with my audience, and that's a pretty big burden to bear. It's not the case for all creators, of course, and there's definitely creators with a better sense of emotional and mental workload management and who can separate their life from their work. But as a content creator, because so much of your work is tied to your life and who you are as a person, I found it really difficult to separate those two. And that was really evident by how many times I got burnt out and how many times I felt so insecure and overwhelmingly bad. To be honest, a lot of those things are probably due to my own shortcomings as a person, not being able to set strong boundaries, not being able to really self-regulate and do things like journaling that keep my mental health much better. But generally being a content creator and having that as a job just highlighted those weaknesses. I realized I wanted something different. And also, there's a whole world I haven't explored yet. The corporate world. It gets a pretty bad rep for being super harsh and super scary. I was intimidated at first, but in my head, I was like, if not now, when? I found the appeal of stability and learning new things professionally and personally really huge, and that's why I chose marketing and teaching. And both those roles have challenged me in ways that content creation hasn't. And of course, starting over wasn't easy. Corporate life took a lot of adjusting and a lot of getting used to the rigid schedules, office dynamic, and just the job scope itself. Because to be honest, what I studied in university was English language and literature, and I teach math for very small children and English for higher levels, so I guess that kind of helps. But I'm also marketing really. I have no professional or school, university, or anything experience with marketing. So I had to learn on the job a lot, but I'm proud to say I'm getting better and it's been really rewarding. Another quote that got me through this time and a quote that I'm super grateful for is what's meant for you will not pass you. It reminded me that I wasn't walking away from a good life. Like if that kind of life was meant for me, content creating, events every week, brand deals, sponsorship, that kind of money, if that was meant for me, it'll find its way back to me. Walking towards something new, as unsure, as insecure, and as scared as I was, that's not a bad thing. And that quote just really makes me feel so like safe and reassured because I really believe that everything takes time. It's okay to go slowly or it's okay to go super fast. Things are happening just as they should. I wouldn't trade my time as a content creator for anything. It's taught me so many valuable things. It gave me confidence, freedom, and so many amazing experiences. I think the experiences will forever be part of my highlights. But stepping into corporate life and moving back to my home country taught me how to grow in ways I never imagined. Both chapters have and continue to be so valuable to me. And that's what the bulk of this channel is going to be about. Sharing my experiences and my journey and any tips from those two worlds. I'll talk about the truth behind being a full-time influencer, how I dealt with burnout, why I chose a corporate life, and how I'm figuring out what balance and fulfillment look like for me. If you're someone who's figuring out life, whether it's career, personal growth, or the courage to start over, I hope this channel can be a safe space where you find guidance, inspiration, and maybe even some comfort. Big changes are scary, but they're also where the most growth happens. If you're in the middle of a transition, not sure what's going to happen next, or just curious about life's next steps, know that you're not alone. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe. Oh my god, it sounds so cheesy saying that. I've never said that before. Let's try and navigate these situations together. And share with me in the comments, what's one big change you're considering right now? Is it moving schools, maybe? Or is it university, master's degree, a new job? I don't know. Tell me about it. I'm very curious. I'd love to hear your story.